Bitcoin, DarkSide, and ransomware, the untold story here on Liberty Nation TV. I am your host, Scott Cosenza, Liberty Nation's legal affairs editor. And joining me today is Mark Angelides, our managing editor for LibertyNation.com, host of the Rabbit Hole podcast, and much more. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Scott.
Well, are we on the verge of a ransomware tsunami? We've had the pipeline shut down, and we've had the Secretary of Energy talk about how we're vulnerable there. What's going on?
Yeah, well, much as we've covered on the page of Liberty Nation, there is a bit of a spike at the moment in high-profile ransomware situations. Obviously, we had the Colonial Pipeline, we had the beef manufacturers, beef processors.
Yes, and I think we both agree that the beef is of primary importance. But kidding aside,
the prime beef importance, yes.
But we now have information that it looks like the Department of Justice is saying they've recovered at least part of the Bitcoin haul from the Colonial Pipeline attack. What are people missing about this story?
Well, that's the interesting thing, Scott. So to give you the background, the Department of Justice set up a task force specifically to deal with these things, these ransomware type attacks. And what they did was they managed to hunt down an individual living in North California and managed to get the passkey, or as we'd call it, a password, for the blockchain that holds the currency. So they managed to get back, out of the over 4 million paid, they managed to get back around 2.3 million in Bitcoin. But what we're missing here is when you have people like the Deputy Attorney General, Lisa Monaco, and she's saying that they've struck a blow against DarkSide. What we're missing is that this wasn't a blow against DarkSide at all. DarkSide has all of their money. The person that doesn't still have the money is what's known as an affiliate, who was essentially somebody who borrowed the software or the malware from DarkSide with the purpose of attacking Colonial to get the ransom out of them. So the DOJ
DarkSide is just a middleman. Then how does that work?
Well, I think probably the best way to look at this is like imagine DarkSide is Hertz rental car. Just for example, I love Hertz, by the way. Stock's doing very well at the moment.
You and OJ both.
The both of us. But here you go. That's actually a great example. So if somebody were to rent a car from Hertz and then go and commit a crime, and then they get arrested. Now, obviously, it seems that Hertz isn't at fault here because they didn't intend any malicious intent to be done with their car. They expected regular use. But
that's true.
What's happening here is we're having a government response to the malware attacks, and they're targeting and they're giving all the press and the fuel to the fire against people like DarkSide. And all DarkSide are really doing is providing a product for a small fee. Well, I say a small fee, it's quite hefty, but they're essentially providing a product for which other people, bad actors, bad faith actors, not that DarkSide aren't.
If Hertz advertises that they have bulletproof glass to deflect incoming rounds from security at banks, and they have special technology that allows you to mask your GPS or something like that to evade detection, then they're not just a rental company, but they're an accessory before the fact, if you will. Are you saying that DarkSide really has clean hands?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. What I'm saying is that the government response is to go after people like DarkSide, who are criminals in their own right, rather than looking at the affiliates, as they're called, who are the people who actually get the malware from DarkSide and then use it to do the various attacks they want. For example, the Colonial Pipeline attack.
Okay, well, they said on May 13, DarkSide, that they were going to close up shop. You think this does not mean there will be a decrease in this type of attack? Is that right? And why is that?
Yeah, exactly. Because they own this malware, this specific software that allows the software to shut down your systems, hijack your systems, prevent access to your systems. What are they going to do with that? Now, at the moment, they're running a business. Well, up until presumably May 13th, when they said they were shutting down operations. They were using that as the driver for their business operation. Now that they are shutting down, what do they do with the tools of their business? Are they just going to put it in a back drawer on a hard drive and forget about it? Or excuse me, are they going to auction that off or sell duplicates of it across the dark web? So it will either be to other hacking groups who want access to this kind of thing, or a range of potentially bad actors just on the dark web, people who think they can run this kind of thing themselves, which is a lot of people, by the way. There's a lot of people who have enough computer skills to install a malware program and then return a key to decode the blocking. There's a lot of people with those skills. I could probably manage it, and I'm awful with computers. And so what is
your sense of it that this is a program that a person who doesn't have sophisticated computer experience could run?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, I don't think it's going to be something majorly complex. It's something that is, as far as we know, it's something that is uploaded to an internal system, or uploaded through a backdoor to an internal system. So really the program itself, the malware itself, does all the work. So when you get a piece of malware on your computer, for example, there's not somebody sat in a dark room 100 miles away, controlling where the worm goes, for example, or what pieces of data it scrapes, or what systems it latches onto. It's all an automated process. So once it's in, it does what it does, and then it can only be unlocked with the correct key. So this is something that somebody with reasonable computer skills could probably manage themselves. Of course, getting onto the dark web is probably a little more difficult for many, obviously using Tor networks and things. But I believe that now that DarkSide is pulling out of the game, as it were, what do they do with the product? Replicate it, sell it on, make some money, make some retirement funds would be my guess.
Well, that's not a great comfort, but it's a comfort to know that you're on the story for LibertyNation.com. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks very much.
That's it for this edition of Liberty Nation TV. Remember to hit Liberty Nation News for original articles, The Uprising, and the Rabbit Hole podcast, hosted by yours truly and Mark Angelides, respectively, and our signature television program, The Conservative Five. Just go to LibertyNation.com on your browser, or hit Rumble, YouTube, or check out our Liberty Nation News Roku channel. I'm Scott Cosenza. Thanks for watching. This program is a production of LibertyNation.com, conservative news where truth matters.
Who are we? We are Americans that believe in liberty. We are a project of the nonprofit One Generation Away. We are patriots who apply the founding principles to the issues of today.
And they keep moving the goalposts on us.
We are educators and commentators who love America and the Constitution. Who are we? We are Liberty Nation.